My spouse and I have a long history together. We grew up in the same small town, with her practically growing up right in front of me, as she is 7 years younger. I remember her as a little girl, but as time went on, I ventured off to the Capital's Institute and forgot about her. It wasn't until her last year of college that she found me. By then, I had my own successful business and a girlfriend, but when Irinka appeared, all logic went out the window and I became infatuated. We started seeing each other, and I couldn't imagine a day without her. I became a stranger to my girlfriend and, with honesty, asked for a breakup. I remember how badly she felt and her warnings about Irinka. I regret not believing her at that time. Soon after, I rushed into marriage and immersed myself in family life. Little did I know how right my ex-girlfriend was and how much pain my beloved wife would cause me. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let me recount everything from the beginning. Our relationship progressed quickly, and Irinka soon became pregnant and gave birth to our beloved son. As expected, she took a 3-year maternity leave. However, she then expressed interest in working at my company, even though her skill set did not match the average employee's level. It was against my conscience to place her in such a position. To put it into perspective, I have phenomenal marketers who can create extraordinary advertising campaigns for even the simplest products. Consequently, I had to make adjustments to accommodate Irinka in a role where she could excel, despite whispers and gossip from other staff members. I initially attributed it to my wife's lack of competence, until I came to realize that it was something much deeper. I accidentally stumbled upon a connection she had with a young programmer, and I was utterly shocked. I urgently needed to check my mail before a crucial negotiation, so I decided to use her laptop. To my surprise, I discovered a correspondence with my own secretary, where she described her adventures in explicit detail. Thankfully, my secretary wasn't home at the time. But after reading every sordid detail, I came to a grim realization about the mistake I had made in choosing this woman as my wife. She had managed to keep a secret with the most notorious gossip in the workplace, explaining why my subordinates constantly whispered behind my back and made me look foolish in front of the entire staff. I was overwhelmed with anger, but I composed myself and proceeded with the negotiation. I didn't go home that day. Instead, I slept at the office. It became evident that I simply cannot turn to alcohol, as it only fuels my fury. My wife's impulsive and foolish actions became abundantly clear. The next morning, I instructed the security guards in the business center to deny her access to the office and invited the programmer to see me. As confident as I was, he appeared much more poised and youthful, exuding a certain charm. Once he entered my office, I calmly informed him that I was aware of everything, but I wanted him to share the whole story. It turned out that he was far from the first person she had entertained. Prior to him, it was the head of the department, and even before that, a regular driver. The entire staff had been privy to this information. To say that I was embarrassed would be an understatement. Without a moment's hesitation, I made the difficult decision to let go of everyone on my team without providing any explanation. Although it was not something I had wanted to do, I knew I had to confront her. "What have I done to deserve such humiliation from you?" I asked, eager to understand her motivations. With surprising composure, she responded, "We simply have different temperaments, and as an adult, you should be able to understand and accept me. I apologize if you cannot." Her words seemed to imply that she expected me to tolerate whatever came next, especially considering we had a child together. I was filled with outrage. "Who said that our son would be solely with you?" I exclaimed, "Pack your bags and never let me lay eyes on you again." In the following days, my son and I took a vacation to help calm my nerves. When we returned, I sought a quick divorce with the fortunate outcome that my connections allowed me to keep custody of our son. We now live together, and although I have no desire for a romantic relationship, I do not prevent her from seeing our son. The programmer was swiftly dismissed and never crossed paths with her again. Things turned out well for me. Those who supported her suddenly vanished, leaving her completely alone. Despite her pleas for forgiveness, I have no intention of granting it. I have endured enough humiliation. Unfortunately, my attempts to find her employment in the city were unsuccessful, as no agency would accept her based on my unfavorable recommendations. She ultimately returned to our small town, living with her parents and working for minimum wage at a roadside cafe. I should have been more level-headed and thought things through before acting impulsively.